You guys out there for checking that little clip out right there, man, in honor of Black History Month. That was, of course, Dusty Baker. Hello, the defending world champions going into 2023 of the Houston Astros. What is this? This is the Shake Back Sports Show. Nope, this is the hashtag Brothers of Baseball show right here on the Big Game Christian Sports Network. Powered, of course, by the Shake Back Media Group. Who am I? I am Willie Epting Jr. And welcome into a brand new episode of this show as we are, as of tape time, 50 days away from opening day. And I am looking forward to chopping it up with you guys, man, about some Black histories goings on. It might even get a little emotional for me in this first segment, so bear with me if it does. In the second segment, we're going to talk about some all-time greats that are no longer playing. It's the the mindset for me during this show is going to be the love I have for the game of baseball, and my plea. It is my heartfelt plea that somehow this gets to a spot where more people, more boys and girls, little boys that look like me will get back into the sport that I have loved for so long, loved so much and for so long. But we'll see how it all plays out. Okay. Before we move any further, this first segment, it is being brought to you by Amber Knight. Like a good neighbor, Amber Knight of State Farm Insurance. She is there to provide simple, personalized, and caring service with this insurance and financial services the people of Ardmore, Oklahoma not only need, but they deserve. Contact Amber Knight today or tomorrow or tonight. Just give her a call, man, tonight or tomorrow. Amber Knight, 580-223-0391. Once again, 580-223-0391. When you want the real deal, call Amber Knight like a good neighbor. She is there. Tell her that your boy from the hashtag Brothers of Baseball show and the Big Game Christian Sports Network, and of course, the Shakeback Media Group told you to holler at her so y'all could set it off on your financial needs. Okay, so big day. Do me a favor and hit the button. Even though we're not there yet, we're going to play like we are. Play ball. Okay, so where do I want to start? Black History Month is here, okay? And for me in Major League Baseball, and it's not Major League Baseball's fault in its entirety, if you ask my opinion. However, those of you out there that have known me and seen me in terms of watching and heard my shows. Oh, by the way, thank you guys out there for checking us out on Facebook through my personal page, through the BGC Sports Network's Facebook page, and of course the Shakeback Media Group's Facebook page. Also on LinkedIn, YouTube, as well as Instagram TV, and of course Twitter. Thank you guys out there for showing love, man. 8,700 votes, or I'm sorry, not votes, goats. We're almost there on Twitter. So thank you guys. Go out there and smash the subscribe and like buttons on all platforms. Okay, so to me, it's not all Major League Baseball's fault. And let me just back up because I want to celebrate for a second. This is the first year that Major League Baseball, MLB The Show, that is it's like, okay, if you're a gamer, you have NBA 2K, and then you have, in football, you have Madden. Well, MLB The Show is that equivalent to those other sports. And this is the first time that MLB The Show will actually have a tribute to the Negro Leagues. And the baseball museum that just opened up in New York this past year, National the Negro League Baseball Museum president Bob Kendrick has long lobbied for this to take place. Now, there are so many players out there that we know that did not make it to the majors. And there are only a few that did, of course. And we know about Jackie Robinson, and we know about Satchel Paige. Those two guys are probably the most known. If you're not an aficionado of the Negro Leagues from Major League Baseball or before Major League Baseball. But you have Buck O'Neil, you have Hank Thompson, you have John Donaldson, you have so many others. And then when you think about it, the Kansas City Monarchs was the actual first major sports team for baseball for African Americans. And the reason why that is such a huge deal is because Kansas City sits along the, for the lack of for not necessarily geographical accuracy, but we know about the Mason-Dixon line and how it ran across the country. And Missouri was one of those states where it was either this or it was either that. And I just relish the fact how these individuals that actually decided, you know what, dude, we're going to go out here and we're going to start our own league. And this is not this show or this episode is not about division or black and white. It's just simply about a celebration of people who had a gift, who had the talent to do something, but were not allowed to do so because of the actual climate that they were living in. So when you think about that and all of the things that they had to come, that they actually had to get over, it's nothing short of remarkable. It's nothing short of remarkable. And I'm just saying right now, man, that Major League Baseball, I think, has done a tremendous job in terms of marketing these types of things, in terms of being able to bring some sort of inclusion and diversity when it comes to African American players and or managers and or coaches and or scouts or whatever the case may be. Now, at this point in time, the Major League Baseball ranks is only 7% with African American born players. Last year was the first time in 70 years that there was not an American-born black person on either World Series roster, which ironically in itself is funny because, as the opening clip just said, Dusty Baker, became the second black manager ever to win a World Series. The first, of course, being Cito Gaston for the Toronto Blue Jays, and he did it in a country that's not even the United States. So Dusty Baker is the first black man to manage a World Series champion that's in the United States of America. And it's ironic in the fact that there was not, I know Michael Brantley is on the Houston Astros, but he did not play because he was on the injured list. So there was no black players that actually played in the World Series in 2022 for the first time since 1932. Or I'm sorry, my math is off. Since 1952. And I believe that was actually Jackie. And I believe he actually won the MVP of the World Series that year, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, where we are right now with that is nothing short of it's sad. It's very, very sad for me. And here comes the emotional part of it. And excuse me if I go there. I'm just gonna go there because I don't know how to be anybody other than myself. I grew up the first part of my life in Oakland, California. My parents, Willie Sr. and Nettie, we moved to California when I was 5 months old. And for the longest time, I thought I was actually born out there. But that's another story. That's neither here nor there. But when we moved out there, baseball is the first sport that I fell in love with. It became the best. It became the sport that I watched the most. And the reason why that is, ladies and gentlemen, and if you've listened to any of these shows, hashtag Brothers of Baseball shows, you know that my dad and my uncle, when we were in Oakland, they actually had a semi-pro baseball team, of which I was actually able to go out there and witness them play all the time. And I had cousins that are older than me. Shout out to DeRay, rest in peace, cuz. Love you. We actually had DeRay, and then it was also Michael Carr that actually played on that team or on those teams, and they were just some young kids. I mean, very young kids. But my dad and my uncle Harry Jean, they were the ones that instilled the love of baseball into me at such an early age. And as I have said before, baseball and I have had a tenuous relationship over the years. There's some things in baseball that have happened that have wanted me to leave our relationship, but it has not been it has not happened due to the love that's still there. Even when you talk about the fact that there's only 7% of African American players playing the sport right now. And I want to get to here a few seconds some of my favorite ones that are now playing and some of the ones from back in the day, and then we're going to continue that in the second segment as well. But here's the emotional part of it for me. The emotional part of it for me, ladies and gentlemen, comes when you have so many of people that are the same shade of color that I am, that are so down on baseball because they say that it's not glamorous enough. It's too slow, it's boring, it's all these things. Well, playing baseball and watching it are two totally different things. And I think that in our community, if we would just have enough people that will go out there and just actually watch the game. I mean, actually go out there and play the game. Just go out there and play like we used to do all the time and have home run contests and things like that. I think the attitude in my community would change because it is actually a very fun sport. And it's hard and it's not easy, but it's a very, very fun sport. And to be able to hit a ball with a bat, basically with a stick, coming at you at so many miles per hour, it takes a lot of patience to learn how to do. It takes a lot of patience to perfect that craft. And it's not easy. It's not easy. But anything that's worth having is not going to come easy. Now, we've seen all the players out there, and some of my current favorite players that I like to watch: Tim Anderson from the Chicago White Sox, Mookie Betts, of course, from the Los Angeles Dodgers. And then we have Jazz Chisholm down in Miami with the Marlins. And then we have Michael Harris Jr., who just won Rookie of the Year in the National League, and so many others. I mean, I'm not trying to slight any players out there that are African-American descent right now. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying these are some players that have really piqued my interest in the last couple years. And you have some other guys in the past, Ozzie, the Wizard. I mean, the Wizard is shortstop. I mean, he was so incredible. Ozzie Smith. And then, of course, you had Barry Larkin. You had Dave Stewart when he was pitching for the Oakland A's. You have Craig Monroe, who I actually tagged in this promotion on Instagram. Craig, I need to get up with you because I need to get you on this show, because this is a subject, man, that I want to have, or this is a conversation that I want to have with you and some other guys out there in terms of what needs to happen from a former and current player standpoint to get more black kids involved in the game of baseball. Why is it that, okay, I'm not going to do that right now, but some other players that I love to watch: Willie Stargell, Pops from the Pittsburgh Pirates when they won the 1979 World Series against the Baltimore Orioles on a team that had Eddie Murray. And in the second segment, I actually put pictures up of some players that I actually admired growing up. And I would encourage you, because that segment is actually out there on YouTube and Twitter as we speak, as this one is. It was so much fun to just reminisce about those players. But what I'm talking about, man, in terms of that, then you have the all-time greats that I never got a chance to see. You have Jackie Robinson, of course. You have Willie Mays, of course. You have Bobby Bonds, of course. Yeah, that Bobby Bonds is Barry Bonds' dad. You have Hank Aaron, of course. And then, of course, you have others out there as well, like Bob Gibson, who I never got a chance to watch. So many others out there. Then you don't want to even go to the Negro Leagues that they didn't even get an opportunity to showcase their skills on what would be considered the highest level of professional sports in that particular athletic sport. So the Satchel Pages and all the others that I mentioned at the beginning of the segment. I just think that that's why I said I can't put the blame on Major League Baseball. But what I can say is, what I can make a plea for is to those that are in the same skin or shade of color that I am, let's not be so close-minded when it comes to this sport. I promise you, if we can get our kids out there just to play and understand, and then support them, not necessarily push them towards it, but just support them. I would be happy to get with anybody out there that has an interest of bringing baseball back to the hood. I don't care who it is. I don't care if you're a former player. I don't care who it is. Anybody that gets wind of this particular segment of the hashtag Brothers of Baseball show, I want to do that. All right, come on back on the other side of the break. I've run out of time in the first segment. We're going to get to some more historical players. Hashtag Brothers of Baseball show. Dopest engineer in the game, Big Day, Willie Epstein Jr. Y'all come on back and holler at us.